Hello, I'm Graeme Sinden. Welcome to the program. My special guest in the studio today is none other than the lady behind the voice that sings the national anthems at the Perth Motorplex during the opening ceremonies. Her name is Martina Erpen, and she joins me now. Welcome to the program, Martina. Thanks for your time. Lovely to have you in the studio with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you've impressed thousands of people, literally thousands of people down at the Perth Motorplex singing the national anthems, mainly the Australian National Anthem, but in recent times the American National Anthem because we've had American visitors here.
Yes.
And you simply woo the crowd. And if you look at, as I do, when you're singing, look around the crowd, they're absolutely still, their hats are off, they're standing to attention, listening with absolute joy. So thanks for doing all of that.
Oh, anytime.
So the obvious question, Martina, is how did you get into all of this?
So I used to sing in my room a lot when I was younger. I had a little microphone set up not too different to this, and one day my mum sort of dragged me down to a studio in Canning Vale called Class Act Performers and said, you know, she needs to sing. We can't keep listening to her sing in her room anymore. She needs to start singing for people. So I went out and, started singing there as much as I really didn't want to, and I was in tears begging Mum to take me home. Andrea, the director of the studio, did a really good job at making me feel super comfortable and, you know, introduced me to some of the girls and then started singing with them. And through her, she was able to get me a lot of different gigs, singing for different, you know, sports events, and we would do school events like fetes and anniversaries and stuff. Done a couple of telethon and all sorts of different things from there.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. In fact, as you do the Perth Motorplex, you've been doing that regularly, and you did it, in fact, during the High Limit International Series when there was about, 10,500 people in the stadium, including all the American drivers. So that must have been exciting for you. But do you do any, we'll get back to that, but do you do any other gigs for different organisations?
So I have done a couple. Not so much anymore. I mostly now do the Motorplex and the horse racing down at Ascot racetrack. But previously I've done, Perth Heat baseball, and I've done the Wildcats basketball, and then, other sort of group performances as well. Right.
So talking about Perth Motorplex, are you a Speedway fan, or did you get there through the chaplains, Terry and Chris Locke?
I had been to the Motorplex a bit when I was younger with my dad. My dad is quite the car fan, as well as, you know, other family members as well, and my partner and his family. But I personally don't know a lot about cars. I know that mine is silver, so that's a good start.
Good start.
But I don't know it. I don't know too much about it. However, I think that, you know, progressively going more and more, I am finding it more and more interesting, and I'm understanding it a lot more as well. So it did start just with the chaplains, but I do enjoy. I definitely enjoy just going down and watching a bit now as well.
Now, normally when we do the opening presentation, the chaplains, either Terry or Chris Locke, do the opening ceremony, and then they invite you to sing the national anthem. So normally that would be the Australian National Anthem, but because we've had lots and lots of Americans over here this season, it meant that you have had to sing the American National Anthem as well, a very, very difficult song.
Yes.
And particularly you do it unaccompanied, so no music backing. You've got wind blowing on occasions. You've got to get your diction right, the range right, the breathing right. It's a very difficult song to sing, isn't it?
Yes, very much so. It was hard to learn and is hard to do, but, you know, luckily I think not having any sort of accompaniment can actually be kind of a blessing. It, you know, gives me a lot more freedom when it comes to timing and when I can breathe and what, what key to start in and whatnot. So it can be difficult, but I think for this song in particular, it does actually, give me a bit more freedom to make it easier.
Because that opening, you've got to go way down low, isn't it? And then toward the end, you're way up the top. There's a big range there.
Yeah, there are some times when I, do those super low notes that I wonder, is that sound even coming out? Because I can't hear it very well.
Well, look, one time you performed the American National and Australian National Anthem, but you did it at the High Limit International, and we had a visitor from America by the name of Laurie Cutter, who's a American chaplain, Races for Christ, I think the organisation is she organised. And I just want to read this out to you because I posted a picture of you, Chris Lock, myself and Con Migro, and it had a huge number of views, and I thought I've got to get you onto the program so people can actually see who the lady is behind this lovely voice. So this is what Laurie said of you, and I quote her, "I had the pleasure of sharing the stage with this beautiful soul during the International High Limit events in December, bringing invocation to the night. Martina's voice and heart brought goosebumps and tears to me as she sang both Australian and American anthems. You all get blessed by her frequently." That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, she is very lovely. She, when I was doing those American anthems, it can be a bit nerve-wracking, especially with the Americans around, but she was very good at making me feel comfortable, and she was absolutely lovely, great to work with.
All right, we've spoken a little bit about you and who you are, and people can now see who you are, so let's give them an opportunity to listen to you, firstly with the Australian National Anthem. Here we go. Here's Martina with the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing. Advance Australia fair.
Well, Martina, that's you singing the anthem down at the Perth Motorplex during the opening ceremony, and our thanks to Channel 7 Plus for that footage. It's well shot, and it gives a good opportunity for people who haven't been there to see and hear you sing the Australian National Anthem. We'll play the American National Anthem in a moment, the song we've been talking about. Do you get nervous when you do that in front of 10,000 people?
I don't get nervous sort of leading up to it. I know that, when I was younger, and for a lot of performers coming onto the stage and, just standing there looking at all of the people can be the nerve-wracking part.
Yeah.
But I think especially for the Australian National Anthem, with how many times I've done it now, I just sort of go. I don't really think about it too much. But I do sort of have those moments every now and then when I'm performing for people that, I'll realise how many people are there and, that so many different people are looking at me, and it's a bit like, wow.
I suppose not during the song so much because you're doing your thing, that's what you do well, but before you actually sing it and you're looking out there and the wind blowing and your hair's going all over the place and you're wondering what's going to happen. I suppose that's the nerve-wracking part.
Yeah. Especially when it's windy, you never know if you might get toppled over, if you're really even going to be able to hear yourself sometimes. But we get through. We get by.
And often it's difficult for those that haven't done it before when you're talking into a microphone in a stadium like that, because you can hear the sound coming through the speakers, and sometimes there's a bit of a delay and all those sort of things. It's a bit nerve-wracking. But the Motorplex is quite good in that respect, isn't it?
It's not too bad. I've definitely performed at, worse venues where the feedback can be terrible and you can hear yourself multiple times when you're singing. But I personally think that the Motorplex is quite good for, feedback and sound quality as well.
Well, talking about sound quality and talking about feedback, let's go and have a look at you singing now the US American National Anthem, a beautiful rendition, I must say, and every time you sing it, I get hairs on the back of my neck. So,
thank you.
And as I said before, you just captivate people who stand to attention and listen intently to every word that you sing.
Oh, I do my best.
Here's Martina with the American National Anthem. Have a listen to this.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, there we are, folks. Martina Erpen singing the American National Anthem. How good is that? As I say, every time she sings, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. So, do you like listening to yourself back when you see footage and voiceovers like that?
I do. I like to not only watch but also listen, just because, I can hear if I've done something that I was a bit unsure about at the time, how it actually sounded to everybody else. But also getting to see myself sing, helps give me sort of more ideas when it comes to stage presence, where to look and, yeah.
Well, let's have a look at, in fact, there you are singing on the screen now. That's what you look like. You're belting out a lovely song there. That's at the Motorplex, in fact. It's actually a nice stadium. When you're hearing yourself sing in the stadium, I think because of the shape of the stadium, the bowl effect. I mean, when we have fireworks down there, for argument's sake, it's a beaut venue to watch fireworks in, and it's a beaut venue when you're singing because you're down in the bowl and the sound's all around the thing. It really does sound terrific.
Yeah, it's very, very good quality sound there, that's for sure. And, when my mum or my partner comes along and they sort of film me from in the stands, it's very interesting to hear the difference from what I can hear when I'm singing to what they can hear as audience members. But yeah, the quality of the sound is definitely good.
Now, where to from here for Martina? Do you want to pursue a singing career? And if you do, how difficult is that in a place like Western Australia, for argument's sake?
The music industry in Perth is quite small. It is quite limiting, unfortunately. So I think if I were to pursue music as a career, I would have to, go elsewhere for it. But at the same time, I don't know how to play any instruments, and I don't write my own songs. So it is a bit of a far-fetched dream.
But not impossible.
Not impossible. No, not impossible. But I just, really would have to commit to it, definitely. And I think for the time being, I'm very happy with the job that I have and, getting to sing as a hobby on the weekends and in the evenings.
What, you work for a construction company, I understand?
Yes,
Yep.
So I'm a receptionist for a construction company. I've been doing reception for a couple of years previously in physiotherapy, though.
If you were to pursue music as a career or a paid hobby or something like that, maybe, what sort of genre do you like to sing? Is it jazz or any songs? Have you got something particular that you like doing?
I'm not a big theatre person, I'll say that. My vocal coach Andrea, my mum, all my friends know that I'm definitely not into theatre. But I do love to sing, that more kind of chill R&B style music, and I like pop as well. I'm also not the best dancer though, so I don't know if I could really do that upbeat pop, sorry.
And these days, of course, when it's not just singing, you've got to be a stage performer almost, because you've got to do video clips these days, in fact, to sell your music, don't you?
Yes, so I think, that might be a bit of a struggle for me, but With some learning, I might be able to get there. When I was younger, I did do a bit of dancing amongst the singing that I was doing as well. When we would do sort of group performances, there was always some choreography to it, which I wouldn't say I picked up easily, but we got there in the end.
So singing at the Perth Motorplex, is that something that we as fans and Speedway goers we're going to see in the long term? Is that a gig that you have on a regular basis from here on?
Oh, I hope so. If they're happy to keep having me back, then definitely.
Well, I would say, Gavin, the management and the fans would demand you come back. As I say, that you command their attention all night long whilst you're singing. It's lovely to hear. Now, your relationship with both Terry Dorrington and Chris Locke, they're Speedway chaplains. They do the opening ceremonies. Not so much Terry these days because of his ill health, unfortunately, but Chris does a terrific job, doesn't he, when he does the opening?
Yeah, definitely.
And the welcome that he gives you before you sing is, I think, delightful. So that must be a great help for you to have someone like that welcome you onto the stage and start singing. It
definitely is, yeah. Chris and Terry have become almost like second and third dads to me at this point. Ron as well. Yeah, they're all very good at making me feel comfortable and making me feel welcome to the space, especially when I was, just getting started into singing at the Motorplex. I was very puzzled. I didn't quite know where to look or who to sing to, if I look into the camera or the audience I was a bit confused, but they do a very good job. Yeah.
And what time do you have to get there to start performing? It's probably around about 6 o'clock on most nights, isn't it, that you sing?
Yeah, it sort of depends on what time we're opening, but I try to get there, like 40 or so minutes early. It is good to get there a little bit earlier as well. I get to have a little chat with everyone, say a little hello.
And do you go around into the chaplain's caravan there, just in the pit area?
Yes, I do. Yep, I call it the caravan. I normally message Chris when I get there if he's not already in there and say I'm in the caravan and I'm ready to go.
And I guess they take you out on the track in the Pokemobile that Chris has now got and driving the little green chariot.
Well, he has made me walk a couple of times, which I fear for my life when I have to. But yes, no, normally I get taken out in the little cart, which is good.
Now, what do you do before a performance like the Perth Motorplex, particularly when you've got to sing dual anthems? Do you do any vocal warm-ups or anything, or you just get out there and hammer the songs out and that's it?
I have a song that I sing in the car anytime I'm going to a performance. It's kind of become a bit of like a ritualistic thing that I do every single time, which is Shake It Out by Florence and the Machine. My mum and I used to sing it on the way to competitions, and that was what we called the warm-up song. And so now it's just kind of become a thing. Every time I'm on the way to a performance, I'll go through that.
I was just going to ask why that song. Has it got sort of vocal chords that you need to reach or do?
It's quite, it goes for a while. It's a longer song, so it gives me the chance to kind of start to warm up my voice, and by the end of the song, I'm pretty much there. But there are lots of little, runs and trills and all sorts of things in there to actually help me with the warm-up process. And then when I get there, I'll normally be walking around sort of humming to myself a little bit and going through music scales.
Well, Martina, look, it's certainly been terrific to be able to bring you into the studio here, have a chat to you, let our viewers see who you are, the lady behind the beautiful voice at the Perth Motorplex when the anthems are being sung. And I absolutely love what you do down there. In fact, it's driven me to get to know you first and then to invite you onto the program. So thanks for your time to come in and do it for us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Lots of our viewers will welcome the opportunity not only to hear you on talking about Speedway here with the American and Australian anthems, but to see the lady and the face behind the voice. It's been an absolute delight to have you in the studio, and thanks for what you do down at the Motorplex.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.